When people are at home, that's a serious issue. That's, I'm not thinking of it often enough. I need to just make the decision myself. And it seems pretty clear that I need to just start telling people like, look, I want the work that you're offering me, but it has to be under certain conditions. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Make Trades Great Again podcast. Andy, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, Eric?
I'm doing good. I want to tell everybody right now, I kind of got this thing going on, head, chest cold kind of thing. So I'm past it. I promise you. At least I keep telling myself that.
Yeah. Just doesn't sound like it.
Well, every time I get a cold, I get that voice thing where like I'm losing I'm like on the edge of losing it all the time. It's just, I deal with it every single time. I'm not, woe is me. I'm just telling you, I sound awful.
Right.
And, well, probably, maybe it's an improvement. I probably always sound awful. So there you are. Here I am. Andy, something came up in conversation, and this is something we deal with as business owners a lot.
Yeah.
And even the guys that are listening, the guys and gals that are employees doing service work in people's homes and stuff like that. So it's something you deal with. And Mickelson Plumbing has a new operating procedure based around it, really, is ultimately how we came up with this topic idea. Working in people's homes when they are or are not there. Now, I'm going to, before you take it away, I'm going to say this.
Yep.
Just this week, I was working in somebody's house. Honestly, yesterday, I was working in somebody's house. I had never met the person.
Uh-huh.
I had never been to their house before yesterday. And here I am plumbing their kitchen sink because they got new countertops. Seems like a pretty innocuous.
It's straightforward.
Pretty
what could go wrong?
How many times have you done that, right?
Yeah.
And the whole time I'm there, I'm going, this person could just not pay me, or they could say I stole something out of their house or whatever. Like, they don't know me and I don't know them.
Right.
So it got us talking, and you were saying, well, hey, we just had to like kind of change what we're doing.
Right.
And I'm going to let you take it from there, because this is an important topic, I think, that gets passed by. Smaller companies probably, I bring it up like, look, I'm just a one-man show, but like you're not, running 15 trucks on the road, 20 trucks. You got 3-4 guys working, and you guys had to go, hey, we got to stop working in people's houses when they're not there.
Yeah.
So give us a story.
Yep. So, I mean, like you said, we've all done it. If you're in the home service industry, there's a high likelihood that you're there while somebody's not there. Right?
Oh, absolutely.
And
100%. I'm
going to say this. 99.9% of the time, nothing happens. It's just fine, right? You get paid, you went in, you did your thing, you left, and the homeowner was happy with the service and it was convenient. Right?
I do it all the time.
Yeah.
In fact, I've advocated to work in people's homes when they're not there so that it's less of an inconvenience for them.
Sure.
Like, hey, you got a vacation coming up? Why don't we do the boiler replacement then?
If we're going in to do something, it's routine, whatever, and the homeowner's like, hey, I got something came up. I got to go pick up my kid, whatever. You guys are good? Yeah, totally fine. Yep. Right. We've made that connection. We get certain cases where we're working on like a critical infrastructure piece of the home, right? If the homeowner's their intention is not to be like, I'm on my way, I'll meet you there. Right. Or I'm going to run this, I'm going to go drop this off at whatever, and then I'm going to come back. That I'm fine with that. Right. Where our policy basically is this. If
the
we're
new
working
policy
in your home,
yeah.
You or someone responsible for your home needs to be present.
Somebody that can make decisions.
Right. Yep. Somebody that can make decisions. Somebody that can pick up the phone and say, I am responsible for this home. I have some ownership. I have been authorized some ownership, whatever.
Well, I can pay you to do the service you say needs to be done now that we've figured out the real problem.
Yep.
Or this problem has arisen.
Yeah. And so that sounds really petty, right? It's like, that's not convenient to the homeowners. That's not a great sales tactic, right? It's counterproductive to being convenient for the homeowner. And I get that. And I'm not doing it for that reason. And I'm fully aware that this doesn't always come off the best.
Up
I
front.
mean, it just happened the other day where we had an issue with, one of the people that lives on our street is irritated, because we're like, nah, I mean, if you want to come home and meet with us, we'll gladly come in and take care of your water leak.
The guy down the road wanted to hire you.
Yeah.
And you said, yeah, that's fine.
And he's like, yeah,
just, you got to
here's the door code.
Yeah.
Just to go take care of it. I'm at work. Right. And I get that. And like I said, we're not trying to be difficult with this. However, like you just mentioned, is you're not there. What's to stop somebody from going, well, these people came into my house and, took that stack of cash that was sitting on the counter.
Yeah. Now I can't find my mother's necklace she gifted me, and it's priceless.
Right. I don't have any, like, my guys could, hey, you come stay at my house if you want. I trust my guys with everything I own. So it's not that aspect, but but there's that little, well, what if, right?
Yeah.
Well, the other what if is we had a deal here. It was last summer. That's when this whole policy kind of started. So we're about 9 months into it. And last summer we froze a water line, right? So
Okay.
routine water line freeze. Guys like, yeah, here you go. This, that, and the other. This is what you need to know. There's the shut off, whatever.
Froze you were going to replace the valve on
main
the
valve
meter, right?
So we were going to freeze the line below it, change the valve out. Anyway, something didn't go according to plan. Valve didn't, like, when they were putting the valve on, the plug came out, ice plug came out, water's one of those things, right? You could pour a cup of water on the floor or a gallon of water on the floor, and it's a lot of water either way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if we were talking 5 gallons of water or 50 gallons of water, for the water, because I never personally saw it. So valve didn't go on right. They got the valve on, whatever, water in the basement, concrete floors or laminate, something, water resistant subsurface, right?
Okay.
With a big rug on it. And so where this kind of came out is we go to call the homeowner to say, hey, we got water on this rug. We're going to put some fans on it or something. Is that what you want to do? But we can't get a hold of the homeowner now. He's like MIA. And we're like, well, now what?
Was that homeowner there to start with, or?
He was to start with. He let us in, and then he's like, I got to take off. I've got somewhere I've got to be. You guys go ahead and finish up.
Yeah.
And so he bailed.
Sounds familiar, though.
Yeah.
Been there.
How often does it happen?
Well, plenty of times. Yeah.
Okay. So in a last kind of like, hey, what's the best course scenario? The rug gets taken out of the basement.
Yeah.
And put on the patio, like on like some patio chairs to try and dry out. Right.
Okay.
Because that's probably the most logical. We don't have carpet cleaning extraction equipment, right?
Sure.
On our vans. So
it's not going to dry sitting there on the floor next to the wet concrete.
And I'm reluctant to hire a subcontractor. Like, hey, let's call Johnny's Carpet Cleaning to come work in this guy's house while he's not there.
Yeah, you don't bring somebody else in now.
Right. That's a little, I get it. We're doing our thing, taking care of the issue. So anyway, rug goes outside. We've got a door code to get back in. We're going to come back the next day and put the rug back. Meanwhile, we're trying to get a hold of the homeowner, right? Because we're like, hey, dude, you're going to, we don't know if this guy's coming home, after work at 5 o'clock and I'm going to be like, why the hell's my rug on the back patio?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So come to find out, dude's on an airplane to Europe.
Yeah.
Right? He's on his way to a business trip, vacation, who knows, whatever, not home, not in Missoula, Montana. And, so we're all of a sudden like, well, so are we like now solely responsible for this guy's house?
Yeah, well,
legally,
you're the last
probably
one's there, right? Possession's 9/10 of the or something like that.
So we're like, okay, well, I guess we're going to do our best, so we go back the next morning to get the rug, thinking, well, it aired out overnight. It was summertime, July or something like that. We'll take it back in the house. Everything will be, it'll all be dried out, and we'll just tell him to let us know if he needs to have it professionally cleaned. We'll take care of that.
Yeah.
But whatever. Show back up at the house. Irrigation apparently isn't aligned properly, and those underground sprinklers have been hosing the rug off all night. And, it was just this like snowball effect of like, dude, are we now like we were authorized to be here yesterday?
Wait, so could you get in the next day?
Yeah, we had a door code.
Okay.
He just had a simple door lock, but it's like yesterday we were authorized to be in this guy's house. He doesn't even know that we're coming today.
Yeah, because he was on a plane and
right. It was just all of these like I don't even say they're little red flags. They're all of these red flags that are like standing here like a slalom course, and I'm like, everything was fine, in the end. However, we looked at it and said, you know what, that was not cool.
We got to avoid this because problems are going to come up.
Yeah, sure.
You have to plan that like sometime in the future, it's not going to go the way you want it to. Right. Like you can't ignore that.
Right.
But you hope that if it goes wrong, you don't want it to ever go wrong, but you hope that if it does, there's no major hurdles and barriers to try to figure out how to fix the problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
When people are at home, that's a serious issue. That's, I'm not thinking of it often enough. I need to just make the decision myself. And it seems pretty clear that I need to just start telling people like, look, I want the work that you're offering me, but it has to be under certain conditions. Well, I mean, we give them the conditions in which we operate already. Like, here's the price and I'm not negotiating it. So I guess this is just one more thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's interesting because people get very relaxed about it. So some people, not everybody. Most of our customers are like, oh yeah, no, we'll be home. I got the day off. Let's schedule it on my day off.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Great. I love it. You're there. We can talk. I have the ability to sell you a service plan, or I have the ability to we can discuss other things. And when the homeowner's not there, I mean, it's like a tenant thing. Like if we're in a commercial space, I don't require somebody to be there. In that particular case, we've said on commercial property, if we've got access, that's totally fine, right? If we're doing a remodel, I'm not requiring the homeowner to be at the remodel. That's totally different, Now, if we're remodeling
some companies
a home,
are though.
What's that?
I bet you some companies are though.
Yeah, could be, and it's been a source of contention with a handful of customers because they're like, well, what do you mean? I don't want to take the day off work to meet you. You have my door code.
Well, some people can't.
Well, I get that.
Yeah.
But, somebody needs to be there. This isn't, I don't know. Anyway.
Well, you said early on, like you're not working on like maybe you said something like major systems.
Like critical systems, yeah.
Critical. You know what? I kind of have a problem with that statement in a sense.
Yeah.
And not to be argumentative.
Yeah.
I think you are. Honestly, if you really think about it, if you're touching a pipe that has water in it, you know what I mean? Like the potential for that to be a critical system, put it this way.
It's pretty
you
much
could say all you want that it's not a critical system. We do this all the time until that freaking valve breaks off that you just put on, like literally underneath the toilet. Right. Tell me that that's not a critical scenario, right?
Yeah,
so it is a critical system.
Yeah.
In every sense of the word, because when things go bad, they go bad quickly, and it's you may as well just close up shop at that point, right? By comparison, because it's I need to just start operating that way. I haven't been, like I said, I'm jumping at the opportunity to take the work on as it is.
Right.
And I don't know anybody that isn't busy or not, right? We're not we're not pushing it away, especially in these times though that we've seen here in the Twin Cities where for the last 18 months to 2 years it's feast or famine, put it that way.
Sure.
So the economy has corrected itself a little bit from coming now 5 years later. COVID era, workload isn't the same, and I would be reluctant to take a call later today had we not talked about this and I hadn't taken the time to think it through more clearly.
Right.
I would be reluctant to take that call and tell people like, no, no, you need to be there.
Right.
I'd be telling them like, how do I get in? I have that conversation all the time. In fact, I could open up my messages through HCP and probably the first 10 out of the first 20, I bet you 10 out of the first 20 are going to say something like, hey, all I need is a garage code, or is the garage code the same? Or, whether it's a new or existing customer.
Yep. Well, I mean, so here's the other side of it. How many times have you been, has a customer, you've set something up with a customer and they call and they're like, yeah, somebody will be home. Perfect. Okay. Sounds good. You go, you show up and it's their 10-year-old.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
Or whatever. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. I mean, I don't
pump the brakes.
Where's mom? Is your mom and dad home? No. Okay. Yeah, we're not.
No.
Let me know. We're going to reschedule. Sorry. And people have gotten like, I've had people get just like verbally, like just over the phone pissed off because they're like, my kid's home. You said someone needed to be home. Well, okay. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. What am I supposed to start doing? Checking ID now? Like just
right.
There has to be you're trusting me to work in your house. Like, I need to trust you that you're not going to put me in a bad situation.
Right. And this is where a responsible individual, right?
Yeah.
Like somebody that can make it. And the way that Cheryl's been pitching it is somebody that can make a decision based on the well-being of your home. Your 10-year-old can't. Right. They don't.
Well, and like I was said too, like that, I think it just needs to be said out loud because you guys are operating this way. But like, look, this has to be somebody that can make a decision on the money that needs to be spent next.
Yeah.
I don't want to focus on that. I don't want that to be the focus of this conversation, but like, let's think about scenarios in which you need somebody to be there that can make decisions. That one of those decisions is very likely to include, we've uncovered this problem. Turns out it's a
big problem.
It's a big problem and it needs fixed right now.
Right. Yeah.
Because here's how much it costs. We're not going to worry about it later. We're going to talk about that right now so we can fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. But like I say, so we got a neighbor that's not happy with us. And I'm like, well, I don't know what to tell you, dude. Sorry.
I doubt you're the only one. Yeah. I doubt you're the only company in Missoula that's saying you got to be there.
No.
In fact, I've talked to many people too or I see it in the comments and stuff. People are like, yeah, we don't go unless we'll never work for somebody until we meet them kind of deal.
Right.
And I've read those and I didn't shake my head or anything. I go, well, I work for people all the time I've never met in person. Yeah. And now that we're talking about it, I'm going, well, this is probably a bad idea.
For the most part, it ends well.
Yeah, it has so far.
Right.
So far.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And like I say, the whole rug debacle, it ended up, everything in the end, finally, on day 3, it was dry.
You just had to go out to the vacuum breaker outside and shut the water off so the sprinklers, even though they were going to turn on, they didn't. Yeah.
Yep, that's about what we did. We're going to pause the watering for 3 days and, move the rug a little bit so in case it rains, and then sent the guy a message and say, hey, listen, here's the deal. We couldn't get a hold of you. Your rug got wet. And then it got wet again. We're not lying about it. We hauled it outside because we thought it was a good plan to let it air dry. Yeah. Get it off the basement floor because it's, the rug's it was like a 12 by 14 rug.
Yeah. It's
right.
big.
So there's no way to pick the thing up and prop it up so you can get a fan to go underneath of it.
Yeah.
So
well, like you said, you don't have water extraction. You're not equipped. The other thing too, let's put this all in perspective. That rug was sitting in the mechanical room of their basement or near it.
In the living room. Yeah.
Because, is it living room scenario?
Yeah. There was one of those water shutoffs that was through the hole in the living room.
I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I'm thinking scenario I'm most commonly encountering is the basement, and I'm thinking that rug that you put down there because you just you didn't want to throw it away, but you're like we're not using it anymore.
Right. Yeah.
That's where I was going with that, but I was wrong. I fully admit that.
Well, and I had horrible flashbacks from an issue we had, I don't know, 7 years ago, something like that, where we had put in a radiator. I think we talked about it on this
Yeah,
podcast.
the table.
Yeah, the table.
I remember the conversation, the podcast episode, actually.
Yeah.
I think we were talking about the same kind of
same kind of thing. Yeah, the dude was in freaking Singapore or Thailand or something
for like weeks
mission.
or something like that, right?
Yeah, like or months, whatever. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So,
oh boy,
I don't.
Well, there you go. New policies and procedures with the new year. Well, I guess you've been doing it a little while. I need to rethink this for sure. It's as easy for me as a conversation because I'm firsthand.
You're talking to every customer.
Yeah. It's not going to be difficult for me. It's just going to be some pain points.
Yep.
I just worked in a customer's house yesterday that insisted they be there, and I didn't think twice about it.
Right.
Of course, but I did offer up because we were doing a boiler replacement on a recall scenario.
Sure.
So we did the recall replacement, and leading up to that, there's a lot of conversation that goes into that.
Yeah.
And, what to expect. Here's what we got to do. This boiler makes your hot water. You're going to be without your hot water, all this kind of thing. So, of course, I want to please everybody Midwesterner is like, hey, you're not going to be able to shower and all this kind of stuff because I'm going to have your hot water, disabled.
Yeah.
If you want to tell me when to do this, because it wasn't a life safety scenario or anything like that, wasn't going to be a property damage situation. So it was like, we can replace this at your convenience.
Right.
Got any vacations? Are you going up to the cabin? I'm saying all these things, and now we're talking about this going, I need to stop that conversation.
Yeah.
Because I'm the one starting it.
Right.
I need to stop starting it.
Well, and in some of that kind of goes into that, like you say, boiler replacement. When we get to that point, I'm going, well, if there's a way for me to call you and get in touch with you, like whatever, we can maybe make some adjustments to this. But if it's just a basic service call, I don't want to sit around for half a day waiting for you to get back to me. Right. Like that's not gonna weigh up.
I think you're looking for an excuse to make it not feel like you
right.
Yeah. I think you gotta,
it's easy to
I hear what you're saying. I think you still just have to say,
yeah, somebody needs to be available.
I need somebody around.
Yep.
If you're going to go run errands, I get that, what you're saying though. I know what you mean. I think that's what you mean.
Yeah. Until they go to run an errand and get in a freaking car crash. And
oh my gosh, stop, right? Dude. Like, what the? It's like now we're like this soap op scenarios. Now they're in like a coma for 6 months. You're waiting to get paid.
Poor Johnny.
Then you find out they were the daughter. No, I'm just
kidding. We're related. He's my baby daddy.
Oh, dun, dun, dun. This just took a turn.
It did.
All right, dude. That was a good conversation.
Yeah.
I've been looking forward to us getting back in the studio. It's been a little bit. Took a little break. That's nice.
Yep. That's nice.
But I think we're going to wrap it up. I want to say a couple things to all our friends and family out there in the MTGA land. If you haven't already, follow Andy over on Instagram. It's at Mick, M-I-C-K _Plumb, P-L-U-M-B. I'm at Mechanical Hub on just about every platform there is, so take your pick. I'm probably putting some content out there. I do prefer YouTube and Instagram. I'm just going to come out and say that. Beyond that, the guys over at the Appetite for Construction podcast, Tom and Jim, John and Tim, excuse me, they're putting out episodes all the time, and they're fun to listen to. Good guys, so check them out. Appetite for Construction. All right, dude. Anything else you want to add?
I don't think so.
There you go.
Hit us up.
A few words. Take it easy, dude.
Thanks. See you.